Hey everyone, for this set of questions we will be factoring quadratics, and this first question I have x to the fourth minus 7x squared plus 10. I want to figure out how to break that apart, and I'm going to do so with some parentheses and binomials. I'm thinking what times what is x to the fourth? X to the second times x to the second. Remember, if we multiply the same base, we add exponents. That would give us an x to the fourth. Now I'm trying to think what two numbers will multiply to make up 10 and somehow add or subtract to give me a negative 7. It's a 5 and a 2. I'm looking to find the signs to put inside my parentheses, and I see that the outer 2 would give me a 2x squared, and the inner 2 would give me a 5x squared. I'm looking to get a negative 7x squared here, and I would get that with negative 2 and negative 5. I need a negative 5 and a negative 2 here then in my parentheses. Our next question, once again, we have a power of 4. This is a quadratic that we have to factor. And first thing I'm going to think of is setting my parentheses here. And I know that at the front here, I know that 7, thankfully, is just 7 and 1. 30, we have a lot of options. 30 and 1, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. A lot of different options. So when I'm testing my values, we've got a lot of different options to go through. But let's first take care of the front part. We know that 7 u to the fourth is definitely 7 u to the second times u to the second. That will give us a u to the fourth power, 7u to the fourth power. So we're trying to match with each one of these, and that's a lot of different options. And I can see right off the bat that it is going to be the 5 and the 6. I'm trying to get a 41 here. And so I'm trying to arrange so that I have 41 somehow. I'm going to put the 5 here and the 6 here because remember the outer 2 and the inner 2 should combine to give us the middle term. These both need to be plus. And so we need a plus 6 to get a plus u to the second. We need a plus 35u to the second, so we need a plus 5. For our next problem, the first thing I notice is that I have a common factor in each. The first thing that I'm going to do is pull out an x from each one of these terms. And so I'm going to be 1 less x with each one of these terms. I'm going to have x times 3x to the fourth minus 2x to the second minus 8. So now we're trying to factor this trinomial, this quadratic trinomial. And I have to think of what number to multiply to give me a 3x to the fourth. What two terms will? And that's 3x to the second times x to the second. Now, at this point, we're trying to figure out the 8 here. The 8 could be a 1 and an 8, or it could be a 2 and a 4 flip. So I can see this is not going to be it because the outer 2 would give me a 3, the inner 2 would give me 8. That won't give me a 2, and if I flip it, I'll have a 24 and a 1. It's not happening. So I'm going to go with the 4 and the 2. If I have a 4 here and a 2 here, the outer 2 is 6x squared, and the inner 2 is 4x squared. I'm looking to get a middle term of negative 2x squared here. And I need a minus 6 and a plus 4 to get a minus 2x squared. How do I get the minus 6 squared? I have a minus 2. Minus 2 times plus 3 will give me a minus 6x squared. How do I get a plus 4x squared? I need a plus 4 there. And that is the factored form. Next problem, number 9, we have x's and m's in each term. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to factor out an xm from each term. And by doing so, we have one less x and one less m for each. And that is going to give me a trinomial that I can factor. I'm trying to think of what two terms will multiply to give me a 6x to x to the 6th power. X to the 3rd times x to the 3rd gives me an x to the 6th. When we multiply the same base, we add the exponents together. And now I'm thinking of two numbers that multiply to give me 15 and add to give me a 2, or subtract to give me a 2. So 3 and 5 will give me 15. 3 and 5 will get the difference between them as a 2. To get a plus 2, I would need a plus 5 and then a minus 3. So for our last question here, first thing I'm going to do is factor out, I have a greatest common factor in each. 6 is 6 times 1, 30 is 6 times 5, and 300 is 6 times 50. And then I also have an x and an n in each. So I'm going to factor out the 6, x, n from each to start off. And I'm left with, let's see, we have a x to the 8th and minus 5x to the 4th, and then a minus 50 left. So remember that you could check my work by multiplying back in the 6xn. Now what we need to do is factor the trinomial. And I'm thinking, what two terms will give me an x to the 8th power? X to the 4th times x to the 4th is x to the 8th. When we multiply the same base, we will add the exponents. Now what two numbers will multiply to give me 50? And difference between them is a 5, 5 and 10. We have a minus 10 and a plus 5 to give us the minus 5. And that's it, everyone. Hope you have a good day. And girls, you want to say something for everyone on the YouTube channel?